Today it's a documentary series that I'm recommending. I'm not one of those who's into a lot of docu-series, but this one is special and for so many reasons. If you've grown up watching films, I think this is something that you'll love, you'll appreciate, and it will give you a lot more perspective on what maybe shaped your childhood a great deal. Angry Young Men is a 3-part series on Prime Video. It's a really short, crisp docu-series. As I said, it's 3 episodes, about 35-40 minutes each. For anyone and everyone who does not know what Angry Young Man is all about, this is the story of the greatest writing duo in Indian cinema and one of the greatest writers ever in world cinema as well. We are talking about Salim Javed, and Angry Young Men is the 3-part series about that duo. First episode talks about their individual beginnings, where they came from and how they happened to meet each other and then just organically start working together. The second episode talks about their rise, their climb, and their mammoth effect on the film industry at large. And the third episode talks about the split as well as their lives after that and their personal lives as well. Like I said, I've grown up watching a lot of these films, and the reason of me being a filmy fool is most of their filmography. I mean, it's insane what all they've written and the frequency with which they've given these films. It is just phenomenal. You have to watch Angry Young Men to really understand the effect, but I'm gonna just give you a little bit of detail on what they've done. So they started to write in 70, 71, 72 was Sita Aur Geeta, 73 was Zanjeer and Majboor, 74 was can't recall what was 74, but 75 was Diwar and Sholay together, and that was one of the biggest battles in the year-end awards as well at Filmfare at that point of time, where Diwar swept almost all awards and Sholay didn't really get too much, but both of these films were written by Salim Javed. You've got plenty of other films after that as well, Dostana, Shaan, eventually going down and trickling down even after they've split to get credit for something they'd written earlier. One of my all-time favorite films, my first film in cinema, Mr. India. So I owe my childhood, my love for cinema to Salim Javed, and you really have to watch this 3-episode series to understand the effect that they had on the industry. One piece of fact for everyone, just to get you nudging into the right direction. There was a time when the duo was at their peak, and a writing duo said to Yash Johar that we'll take 1 lakh more than whatever your leading star is taking as the fee. At that time, the leading star was Amitabh Bachchan. The movie was Dostana, and Salim Javed said, okay, if Amitabh Bachchan is taking 20 lakhs, we'll take 21. And that's the power of that writing duo. Karan Johar in the docu-series goes on to say, can you imagine a writing star saying that they would charge 1 crore more than a Salman Khan or a Shah Rukh, any writer today, charging anything close to what a film star is charging? I think it depicts the greatness of Salim Javed, but at the same time, it also talks a lot about the condition of writing today in Indian cinema. It has really deteriorated. We do not give writers their due. There are some fabulous screenwriters we have today, and some of them do come and talk about Salim Javed and the influence they had on the writing careers of so many budding screenwriters. You've Jaideep Sani, who's written fabulous films like Chak De, as well as Khosla Ka Ghosla, and many others. And then you have Juhi Chaturvedi, who's written some fabulous pieces of cinema, including Piku. The series has a lot of Bollywood in it. It talks about a lot of those films that I grew up watching, so hence I naturally loved it. But what really gave it something extra was how candid Salim Saab and Javed Saab were in the series, while their children and everybody else were talking, and they were still slightly guarded about how they were coming across and what they were saying. I think Salim Saab and Javed Saab just let loose to a very great extent, and that was beautiful to watch. They were vulnerable on screen, especially Javed Akhtar. I do not think I have ever seen him like this. It was beautiful to watch. It was heartwarming. There is a time in episode 1 or 2, I think episode 1, where he talks about the craft of screenplay. He explains it beautifully, masterfully, and I do not think there is anybody who can choose a more simplistic way of describing what is such a complex art as screenplay writing. But he does it so seamlessly, so beautifully, so naturally. Only Salim Javed can do something like that. So while you have a lot of cinema, you also have a lot of personal relationships and the dynamics of their individual lives, their lives together, and their married lives as well. So overall, it was a beautiful watch. If the nudge earlier wasn't enough, they wrote 24 scripts together, and 20 were blockbuster hits, 2 were semi-hits, and then just two films that didn't work out of 24. That is the kind of hit rate that Salim Javed had. It has never been seen before in cinema world over. I do not think it can be repeated. 20 blockbusters out of 24. If you're gonna term it as hits, then 22 hits out of 24 is what Salim Javed created, and that cannot be just a stroke of luck, which some people could believe, but only one duo, Salim Javed. I cannot harp on this enough. Please go watch it. If you love cinema, if you love films, if you watched Diwar and Sholay and Majboor, Shaan, Dostana, Sita aur Geeta, Zanjeer, all of these films growing up, please watch Angry Young Men, the story of Salim Javed on Prime Video right now. It is fantastic. It is beautiful. You are not gonna regret it. Watch it right now. Just 3 episodes. Fantastic. Fabulous. Loved it.